Did you know that more than half of men over the age of 60 quietly struggle with erectile dysfunction, and yet only a fraction ever talk about it, even with their doctor? Think about that. A condition that affects intimacy, confidence, and even overall health, and it's often hidden away under layers of shame and silence. But here's the truth: erectile dysfunction is not just a bedroom issue. It's a window into your vascular health, your hormones, and even your future risk for heart disease. Ignoring it doesn't make it go away. It can actually be the red flag that saves your life. When blood flow weakens, the body speaks. Erections are a vascular event, meaning they rely on strong, healthy arteries. If those arteries are narrowing, stiffening, or blocked, your body often reveals the problem through sexual performance long before you feel chest pain. In fact, erectile dysfunction can appear 3 to 5 years before cardiovascular disease is diagnosed. That means what happens in the bedroom may actually be your body's earliest warning sign of what's happening in your heart. Now, here's where psychology enters the picture. Many men interpret erectile difficulties as a personal failure, as if masculinity has slipped away. That shame leads to withdrawal, less communication, less intimacy, and more silence. But silence is dangerous, not just for the relationship, but for your biology. Stress hormones like cortisol rise when you internalize fear and frustration. Cortisol constricts blood vessels, raises blood pressure, and creates a vicious cycle. The more you hide the problem, the worse it becomes. So the first myth we must shatter is this: erectile dysfunction is not simply about desire, nor is it a natural and of manhood. It is biology, and biology can be treated. Here's the empowering truth. Research shows that lifestyle changes, like eating foods that improve blood vessel health, exercising to boost nitric oxide, and sleeping well to optimize testosterone, can restore function. Medications and therapies can help, yes, but the foundation is in your everyday habits. Even something as simple as a daily 30-minute walk increases blood flow and lowers the risk of erectile issues. Foods like pomegranate, green tea, and omega-3 rich fish literally act as medicine for your endothelium, the inner lining of your blood vessels. And when your vessels thrive, so does your sexual health. But let's go deeper. Testosterone naturally declines with age, but too many men accept low energy, low libido, and poor performance as inevitable. They're not. Low testosterone is often linked to obesity, sleep apnea, and diabetes, conditions that can be prevented or reversed with the right changes. And here's the fascinating part: when you reclaim your physical health, your psychological confidence follows. Confidence isn't manufactured. It's biologically expressed through posture, eye contact, and yes, sexual vitality. When your biology works for you, confidence becomes effortless. And this isn't just about men. Women in their 60s and beyond also face challenges like bladder leaks, pelvic floor weakness, and changes in desire. When partners communicate openly, support each other, and view these challenges as medical, not moral, issues, intimacy doesn't fade, it evolves. Couples who face these changes with courage and science-backed solutions often report deeper connection, more fulfilling intimacy, and a new kind of passion that isn't limited by age. So let me challenge you with a question. Are you ignoring your body's whispers until they become screams? Are you brushing off problems in the bedroom as just age, when they might actually be the alarm bell for your arteries, your hormones, your future? Science tells us that men who take these issues seriously not only improve their sexual health, they live longer, healthier lives. They reduce their risk of heart attack, they restore confidence, and they protect their relationships from unnecessary strain. The choice is simple, but the consequences are profound. Neglect means decline, not just in intimacy, but in overall health. Awareness, action, and self-care mean vitality, connection, and longevity. And here's the mic drop truth: your sexual health is not separate from your overall health. It is the mirror of it. Ignore the reflection and you risk everything. Respect it, care for it, and it will reward you with not just better intimacy, but more years of life lived fully, vibrantly, and connected. Imagine this: a man in his 60s walks into the doctor's office with complaints of fatigue, low mood, and shrinking confidence. He thinks it's just old age. But when his tests come back, the real issue isn't age. It's low testosterone. And here's the shocking truth: more than 40% of men over 60 experience low testosterone, and yet most never get evaluated for it. They suffer in silence, believing that diminished strength, fading desire, and even erectile struggles are normal. But biology tells us otherwise. Low testosterone is not just about sex, it's about your muscles, your bones, your brain, and your heart. And ignoring it costs you more than you think. Testosterone is often misunderstood. People see it only as the hormone of youth or libido, but it is far more fundamental. It drives red blood cell production, sharpens memory, protects against osteoporosis, and fuels the very energy that makes you feel alive. When levels dip, men don't just notice a drop in sexual performance. They notice sluggish mornings, weaker grips, more belly fat, and even shrinking motivation to connect with their partner. That's not just biology, it's identity. It's the core of how men perceive themselves and how they show up in their relationships. But here's where the problem deepens. Many men feel ashamed to admit these changes because society has tied masculinity to performance. And so, instead of seeking help, they retreat, they stop communicating, intimacy becomes strained, and partners are left confused or rejected. Silence again becomes the killer. Because biologically, silence allows the problem to progress. Low testosterone is linked to metabolic syndrome, diabetes, and even early cardiovascular disease. So what begins as a private bedroom concern can escalate into a life-threatening health crisis. Let's confront the myths. Myth number 1. Testosterone decline is inevitable, nothing can be done. False. While natural decline occurs, lifestyle factors dramatically influence levels. Excess body fat converts testosterone into estrogen. Poor sleep suppresses hormone production. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, which directly blocks testosterone synthesis. These aren't random losses, they're signals of imbalance. And here's the empowering reality. You can take steps to restore balance. Weight loss, especially belly fat reduction, improves testosterone naturally. Deep, consistent sleep boosts hormone production overnight. Resistance training triggers your body to produce more testosterone on its own. And yes, medical therapies exist, but they work best when built on the foundation of healthy living. Myth number 2, low testosterone only affects sex drive. Wrong again. Studies show that men with low testosterone are at higher risk of depression, Alzheimer's, and even fractures due to weaker bones. Think about that. The hormone you may ignore today could be the very factor protecting your future independence. Because when bone density declines and fractures happen, it's not just physical, it's a loss of freedom. And the loss of freedom accelerates decline more than any hormone could. So, let me ask you, are you allowing silent biology to rewrite your story, or are you willing to take charge? Are you content with retreating, letting intimacy fade, and letting your health slip away? Or are you ready to face the science, own your biology, and create a new narrative for yourself and your partner? Here's where transformation begins. Men who restore their testosterone, whether naturally or with the help of a physician, report not just stronger bodies, but stronger relationships. They re-engage with life. They pursue intimacy again, not out of obligation, but out of renewed vitality. Their partners feel it, too, the spark, the energy, the presence that was slipping away. And what's more powerful than reclaiming not only your health, but your bond with the person you love? The choice is not easy, but it is clear. Neglect means decline, brittle bones, weaker hearts, disconnected relationships. Action means strength, more energy, better intimacy, greater longevity. Science tells us the difference is within your control. And here is the line I want you to carry home. Testosterone is not just the hormone of manhood. It is the hormone of vitality, connection, and life itself. Protect it, nurture it, and you don't just preserve your masculinity, you safeguard your future. Here's a truth most people don't know. Regular intimacy, physical and emotional, is one of the strongest predictors of longevity. In fact, studies show that men and women who maintain an active sex life after 60 live, on average, 5 to 7 years longer than those who don't. Yet, too many people silently withdraw from intimacy because of embarrassment, fear, or the false belief that sex is over after a certain age. That silence doesn't just cost pleasure, it costs health, vitality, and connection. Sexual intimacy is not just about desire. Biologically, it's a full-body workout. Erections rely on blood vessel health. Orgasms trigger surges of oxytocin, dopamine, and endorphins, chemicals that lower stress, strengthen bonding, and protect the brain against decline. Even the pelvic muscles, often neglected as we age, are activated during intimacy, protecting against urinary incontinence for women and erectile dysfunction for men. And here's the fascinating part. Research shows that sexual activity lowers inflammation, boosts immunity, and improves sleep. This isn't just romance, it's preventive medicine. But here's the problem. Too many couples stop talking about intimacy. When erectile dysfunction shows up, or when pelvic floor weakness creates embarrassment, the instinct is to avoid rather than address. Partners stop touching. Nights become silent, and what could have been a medical conversation becomes a relationship fracture. This silence doesn't just erode love. It elevates stress hormones, weakens immunity, and accelerates aging. Emotional withdrawal biologically is as toxic as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. That's how powerful connection is to our health. Let's confront the biggest myth. Intimacy is only about performance. Wrong. It's about connection, communication, and health. Performance issues, whether premature ejaculation, vaginal dryness, or erectile dysfunction, are symptoms, not verdicts. They are signals that something deeper is happening: circulation weakening, hormones shifting, or muscles needing support. And these signals are opportunities, not dead ends. Men who address erectile dysfunction often uncover heart disease early. Women who work on pelvic floor health don't just improve intimacy. They protect against bladder leaks and restore confidence in everyday life. So why do so many still suffer in silence? Because society teaches us that talking about sex after 60 is taboo. But let me ask you this. Is it more embarrassing to discuss intimacy with your doctor, or to lose years of your life to preventable decline? Is it more uncomfortable to practice pelvic floor exercises, or to let incontinence rob you of your independence? Is it more shameful to seek help for erectile dysfunction, or to let it be the early warning sign of a heart attack you ignored? These are not easy questions, but they are necessary ones. Here's the empowering truth: intimacy can be protected, strengthened, and even reinvented at any age. Science shows that exercise improves circulation, reducing erectile problems. Mindfulness practices lower performance anxiety, increasing satisfaction. Foods like leafy greens, berries, and omega-3 fish nourish blood vessels, making intimacy physically possible. And for women, pelvic floor exercises and medical therapies restore muscle control and enhance pleasure. Even the act of open conversation with your partner reduces stress, raises oxytocin, and reignites closeness. And let's not forget, the benefits extend beyond the bedroom. Couples who remain sexually and emotionally connected report lower risks of depression, better sleep quality, and even sharper memory. Intimacy isn't a distraction from health. It is a pillar of it. Your partner isn't just your companion. They are part of your healing system. Connection itself is medicine. So I'll challenge you directly: are you choosing silence, or are you choosing science? Are you letting myths dictate decline, or are you willing to embrace the truth that intimacy is a life-extending force? Every choice you make, whether to ignore or address, withdraw or connect, shapes not only your health, but the health of the person who loves you. And here's the mic drop truth. Intimacy after 60 is not a luxury, it's a prescription. Ignore it and you accelerate aging. Embrace it, nurture it, and you don't just add life to your years, you add years to your life. Here's a startling truth: silence in relationships is more destructive to health than most people realize. Studies show that couples who stop communicating during times of stress experience higher blood pressure, weaker immunity, and even shortened lifespans. Think about that for a moment. Avoiding a difficult conversation can literally make you sick. And when it comes to urology and sexual health, silence is the enemy. Men hide their struggles with erectile dysfunction. Women conceal bladder leaks or pelvic discomfort. Partners pretend everything is fine when underneath, fear and shame are building walls. But silence doesn't protect, it poisons. Biologically, the consequences of silence are real. The human brain perceives emotional neglect as physical pain. When you're ignored or when you suppress your own voice, your amygdala, the fear center, lights up. Stress hormones like cortisol surge. Over time, cortisol stiffens arteries, lowers testosterone, and suppresses the immune system. Silence in your relationship becomes silence in your biology. Your blood vessels narrow, your body weakens, your energy fades. That's why unresolved tension in the bedroom or around health issues doesn't stay in the bedroom. It spreads through every system of your body. Let's bring this closer to home. Imagine a man experiencing premature ejaculation. He's embarrassed, so he says nothing. His partner feels rejected, but doesn't ask why. Days turn into months, and intimacy disappears. Or think of a woman with urinary incontinence. She avoids touch, fearing embarrassment, but never tells her partner. Both are struggling, but both remain silent. What's the result? Not just lost intimacy, but higher risks of depression, loneliness, and even cognitive decline. Emotional disconnection accelerates physical decline. Here's the myth we must confront: silence keeps the peace. No, silence destroys peace. Neuroscience shows that conflict handled with honesty is less harmful than avoidance. Respectful dialogue, even when difficult, lowers stress and builds resilience. When you communicate, oxytocin levels rise. This bonding hormone not only improves mood but also lowers blood pressure and strengthens the immune system. Simply put, talking heals, silence wounds. So, what can you do? Start by recognizing that bringing issues into the open is not weakness, it's medicine. Erectile dysfunction. Talk to your doctor. It may reveal early heart disease and save your life. Bladder issues. Speak up. Treatments exist that restore confidence and intimacy. Performance anxiety. Share it with your partner. The very act of voicing it reduces tension and opens the door to solutions. Each time you replace silence with communication, you release stress, lower cortisol, and strengthen the body from the inside out. And this isn't just about physical health. Psychology tells us that emotional openness builds trust. Trust deepens intimacy. Intimacy fuels motivation. Motivation creates healthier choices. It's a feedback loop of healing. When you open your mouth, you open the door to better health, stronger relationships, and a longer life. But here's the hard truth: neglecting communication means choosing decline. Neglect means your arteries stiffen while your relationship hardens. Neglect means misdiagnosis, untreated conditions, and years stolen away. Self-care, on the other hand, starts with a voice. A voice that says something feels off. A voice that admits, I need help. A voice that invites your partner to join the journey instead of walking alone. And when that voice is used, biology responds. Blood vessels open, hormones stabilize, energy rises, connection strengthens. So let me challenge you: are you holding back words that could heal your body and your relationship? Are you choosing short-term comfort at the expense of long-term health? Or will you break the silence, face the discomfort, and choose vitality? Because here is the science-backed mic drop truth: silence is not neutral, it's toxic. But communication is one of the most powerful medicines your body and your relationship will ever know. Use it, and you don't just save your intimacy, you save your life. Here's something most people don't realize: your partner can often detect changes in your health before you do. Women, in particular, are biologically attuned to subtle shifts in tone, posture, energy, and even scent that reflect what's happening inside your body. That means your relationship is constantly receiving signals from your biology, even when you say nothing. And in urology and sexual health, those signals matter more than you think. Low testosterone, prostate issues, kidney problems, or bladder dysfunction don't stay hidden. They show up in your energy, your confidence, and your intimacy. The truth is this: your health speaks louder than your words. Biologically, this makes sense. Testosterone influences not only muscle and libido, but also mood, voice, and body language. When levels drop, men don't just feel weaker, they carry themselves differently. Prostate enlargement often disrupts sleep, leading to fatigue that shows up in irritability and disengagement. Women struggling with pelvic floor disorders may unconsciously avoid closeness, their discomfort revealing itself in silence or withdrawal. These physical changes ripple outward, shaping the way partners see and feel each other. In other words, biology becomes relationship currency. Now, here's the problem: too many people ignore these signs or dismiss them as just aging. Men brush off urinary frequency as a normal part of getting older. Women normalize bladder leaks or pelvic discomfort. Couples accept dwindling intimacy as fate. But this resignation is dangerous because behind those small annoyances often lie bigger health risks. Prostate issues, if ignored, can escalate into obstruction or even cancer. Untreated urinary tract infections can damage the kidneys. Chronic sleep loss from bladder problems raises the risk of heart disease. What feels like a private, embarrassing inconvenience can in fact be a systemic health threat. And silence around these issues doesn't just hurt the body, it erodes trust. Imagine this: a man dismisses his partner's concerns about his frequent nighttime bathroom trips. She notices, worries, but feels pushed away. Or a woman hides her incontinence from her husband, silently avoiding intimacy, leaving him confused and rejected. The biology is real, but the unspoken tension deepens the emotional fracture. The myth we must confront here is that what happens in the bathroom stays in the bathroom. No, it enters the bedroom, the dining room, the relationship, and the lifespan itself. But here's the empowering truth: you are not powerless. Science gives us tools. A simple prostate check can catch disease early and prevent complications. Pelvic floor exercises can restore bladder control and improve intimacy for women. Nutrition that supports vascular health, like berries, leafy greens, and omega-3s, improves blood flow for both erectile function and kidney health. Even hydration, something as simple as drinking water, dramatically reduces kidney stone risk. These are not complicated solutions. They are daily choices that rewrite your health and in turn your relationships. And let's talk about the psychology. When you take care of your body, your partner feels it, visibly and emotionally. The man who addresses his prostate health doesn't just sleep better. He shows up more present, more energized, more connected. The woman who strengthens her pelvic floor doesn't just reduce leaks. She regains confidence, vitality, and joy. Taking ownership of your health is not vanity. It is communication. It says, I care about myself, and I care about us. And that message is more powerful than any words you could say. So let me ask you, are you allowing untreated health issues to broadcast weakness, disconnection, and decline? Or are you ready to flip the script so that your health radiates strength, vitality, and love? Neglect sends signals of fragility. Action sends signals of resilience. Your biology is not silent, it's always speaking. The question is, are you proud of the message it's sending? And here's the science-backed mic drop truth: the strongest love signals aren't spoken, they're lived through your health. Protect your body, and you don't just add years to your life, you add life to your years and depth to your relationships.